So, unfortunately, nobody lives close enough to me to have a bigger audience, so I have my girlfriend and my dog. This is my presentation, and so I'm going to start with good afternoon, everybody. My name is Kaylee, and I'm happy to be presenting to all of you today. Today, I'll be talking about masculinity versus femininity as a cultural dimension. So this topic is not about sex or gender itself, but about how communication can be different based on gender because of society. It explains how the different cultures value different things. Understanding these differences helps us communicate more effectively with people from different backgrounds, and most importantly, to know where those expectations originally come from. So what is masculinity versus femininity? Masculinity and femininity describes cultural values. Every culture emphasizes different priorities, especially through gender. Feminine cultures value more relationships versus achievement, cooperation versus competition, more of a earthial vibe. Masculine cultures value more of a strong, strict, logical correspondence. They go really good based off rules. Neither communication styles are right or wrong, but most people, despite cultural expectations or gender, actually use both, especially depending on a situation. Any type of woman can get more aggressive or use more masculine traits when more agitated, and any masculine person or man can use more feminine traits when upset or sad. So, feminine communication and culture. These are some things that feminine communication focuses on, although I will be focusing most on how feminine communication focuses on building relationships. This often causes people to react to them by listening more carefully, expecting more out of them, expecting them to be quieter, especially in more competitive instances. The reading explained that feminine communication values equality and support more than men. That's why a majority of people feel more comfortable opening up around or with women, because of the communication style they use or were taught growing up. Instead of trying to win a conversation, this communication style is going to be more in depth and down to the root of trying to understand. So a personal example for anybody could be at work. So at work, I notice coworkers who naturally help customers together. They ask for opinions and support one another instead of competing. This creates a positive work environment, and just a positive communication style in general. So masculine communication style and culture. Masculine communication focuses more on accomplishing goals and following rules in a strict manner. So this often causes people to speak more directly, to be more blunt, to get down to the point, and to be at the root of solution. The goal is usually efficiency and getting results rather than feelings. This communication style is not rude, it just simply prioritizes completing tasks. Personal example of this would be another work environment. So at work, I've worked with people who are very direct. They like to quickly solve problems, and they do not prioritize spending much time talking about feelings. They focus on logic and completing the task first. That's more of a masculine mindset. So how gender influences communication. Communication skills begin when we're children. So we learn these through family, school, friends, any honestly role model that we have when we're little. The reading explained that boys are often encouraged to compete and lead, while girls are often encouraged to do the opposite and focus on cooperation. These are taught to us while we're young. This is why we tend to have a relationship, would be especially a straight relationship with a typical man and female role, would be a good example of this. just because a girl is more likely to shut down or to be sad and be more quiet, as a guy's more likely to handle the problem maybe even a little too aggressively. Spot on. So these are general trends and stereotypes, not rules. So another prime example of the opposite could be a masculine woman growing up with no feminine roles and a majority of masculine roles. That could also cause a type of communication style that is a little bit more lenient to a stereotypical masculine communication style. Anyone can learn either communication style regardless of gender, but of course, with society and how they shape gender, it just tends to go each way. So, why this matters? Understanding different types of communication styles, even when it comes to gender, this can help us avoid misunderstandings, cooperate, work together better, and understand how to communicate with each other and different people based on a type of communication style rather than stereotype. So, recognizing that people communicate differently allows us to respond with patience rather than making assumptions. So this is my reference slide, but I just wanted to run down that today overall we learned that masculinity and femininity describes cultural values. Feminine cultures emphasize relationships and cooperation, while masculine cultures emphasize achievement and competition. Neither communication style is better, but both have their own ups and downs as well as their own strengths. These communication styles create, from a young age and through society, expectations onto both gender roles. So both communication styles have strengths depending on the environment and situation that you're put in. And this is my reference slide. I referenced all of the images that I did.